Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Alvin Bragg, Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, all the king's horses, and all the king's men. The case is falling apart, and Trump is smiling. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. You know, Alvin Bragg's first witness, David Pecker, he testified to all this stuff about Trump, but under cross-examination admitted he never talked to Trump about any of these catch and kill stories, buying stories to bury them, doing things against Trump's opponent. He says Michael Cohen was the mastermind of all this, an absolute disaster for Alvin Bragg and his prosecution. And now one legal analyst on CNN is saying if the case were to end right now today, there is no crime. He also says it's going to be increasingly and exceedingly tough to actually produce a crime here. You know, these people that are acting like this is the trial of the century had previously said this was the weakest of all cases. Well, the case didn't change. It remains the weakest of all cases. It remains a ridiculous Frankenstein case. Everybody knows it. Anybody with any brains when it comes to the law knows it. And the fact that they're saying there's still been no crime shown, well, that just is another notch in the belt for former President Donald Trump. I want you to watch this report and then let me know what you think when you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
What did you think of Pecker?
Well, I mean, you know, you got to just back up before he even takes the stand. The prosecutor opens opening statement. This is a conspiracy. And who's in the conspiracy? Donald Trump, Pecker, and Cohen. Now, there is no conspiracy charge. They could have easily charged some form of a conspiracy if they could have figured that out. But one of the reasons why I don't think they try to even charge a conspiracy is you have three people in a conspiracy. Two of them are going to be witnesses, and one's a defendant. Why? Usually it's one cooperator and two defendants, not the other way around. Additionally, Anderson, he got immunity. Not a cooperation agreement, immunity, which goes to Jeffrey's point, I think, like, there is really we haven't spoken about a crime yet. There is no crime at this point. Everything he's talking about, there's nothing in the penal law that says this catch and kill theory is criminal. So that's, you know, obviously in summation, the defense is going to focus on who this guy is and what he's all about. But here's what they have to get out in cross-examination. Isn't it true, Mr. Pecker, that at one point Mr. Trump said, yeah, and in addition to the campaign, you know, Melania doesn't need to hear about this. That's all they need. Is for that. He was like, yes, he was concerned about Melania. He was concerned about Barron. Because it's got to be that the expenditure is 100% for him to become president of the United States.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's just not the law. It does not have to be 100%. I see Jeffrey's agreeing with me. It does not have to be 100% campaign related. There's campaign
You're
motivation.
saying it could be both.
Yes.
I wanted to protect the campaign, but also I was worried about my wife.
Yes, the campaign has to be a substantial factor. It does not have to be 100%. Nobody would ever be able to prove that. Now, look, my view of David Pecker today is he was a rock-solid start for the prosecutors. You're not going to win your case with the first witness. It's a mistake to try to do that. I agree that if the case ended right now, we'd have no crime made out.
So he's sort of setting the table.
Exactly. And what I think he did that was really interesting is he took the jurors inside this seedy, unseemly world of catch and kill and what happens behind the scenes at the National Enquirer. He painted a very vivid picture, even just following along with the updates as we were doing real time. It was riveting. And he explained how this world works. He explained who the key players are. He explained what the relationships are, that Michael Cohen is sort of Donald Trump's lieutenant and Dylan Howard was his lieutenant. He explained the chains of communication. So you're not going to win it all with one shot right off the bat, but I think it's a good start. And by the way, prosecutors should not be high-fiving in the beginning, middle, or end of direct. It's all about cross, because then you're going to have a good defense lawyer like Arthur Aidala trying to tear you down, and they will score points.
I got to ask you this question. Because here's the problem with this whole case. We don't exactly know what that secondary crime is, right? So you and I are talking about the election law. We're not talking about whether he falsified. I think it's an open and shut case that he put something in his books that wasn't accurate. But if he put down, I bought this suit to be president, to run for my presidential campaign, but he was going to wear it also to a wedding, he can't write that off. It's not a campaign expense. It's got to be. Campaign expenses are, This is my campaign headquarters. I'm paying rent for it, and I'm only running my campaign out of it. He can't say, I'm running my campaign out of it, and I'm doing some real estate out of it.
Right, but
then that's not a campaign expense.
But if they had this meeting, this now infamous meeting with Michael Cohen and Pecker and Trump in 2015, and the whole purpose of the meeting was, what can I do to help your campaign? Isn't that setting up the framework for what this deal was?
David Pecker gets them to intent, and that's the secondary part of the crime. Trump is charged with falsifying business records, but with the intent to conceal or commit another crime. And prosecutors were talking about this in court today with the jury out of the courtroom. That's what they're trying to prove with David Pecker, that the intent was to violate New York State campaign finance laws, which is just to promote a candidate. It's more artful than that, but that's the essence of it.
If you're spending money to influence a campaign, there are laws that regulate how that money can be spent. Right. Is that what you're saying? I mean, that's
how much you can give. First of all, way less than $130,000, and that you have to report it. And I think it's worthwhile to step back and just reflect on what exactly the charges are here. And I think Arthur's doing an effective job showing where some of the questions are going to be raised. But the core charges here, you have to start with falsifying business records. And so this goes to what we were just talking about. They paid this money to Stormy Daniels to hush her for the election. And the allegation is they falsified the payments. They tried to make it look like an attorney's legal fees, a retainer. And the argument is there's the falsification. And you have to tie that to Donald Trump, which is not going to be easy. And then the sort of back half of it is you have to show that the motivation was political. Not 100%, but that a substantial portion of the motivation was political.
And this is